is Tracy.
And Alex.
Welcome to Blockhouse Yoga and Wellness Studio. We are doing a little session today with my friend, Kay Ennis. Alex doesn't know her as well, but she's a wonderful acupuncturist on the South Shore, and we wanted to just have a little chat with Kay and talk about what she does and how yoga and acupuncture can complement each other for anybody who might be needing some support in different ways. Let's just chat. Kay, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me. I love talking about acupuncture, so it's fun to do it with friends.
So how long have you been teaching or doing acupuncture?
I graduated from the acupuncture school in Bedford in 2019, so it's been an awkward 2 years with everything going on, but it's been fabulous. I absolutely love it.
And where are you working?
I'm working out of Keystone Health in Blockhouse on the Cornwall Road.
Nice.
It's a magical place. Yeah.
Yeah. So where we are in Blockhouse, she's literally just a couple kilometers further down Cornwall Road.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really, really convenient off of the highway or off out of town, out of Blockhouse or Mahone Bay.
Yeah.
I've received acupuncture over the years, and I'm just going to ask some basic questions. Even as a recipient, it feels mysterious the way it works, and it's. I know it's not smoke and mirrors. I know it's real. You're heading into various different nerve centers, and it's opening things up. But can you walk us laymen through just a basic understanding of how acupuncture works and sort of demystifying some of the, in my mind at least, some of the mystery of how it all comes together?
Yes. So TCM, or traditional Chinese medicine, we take a different approach from Western medicine in terms of we're using a combination of acupressure, acupuncture with needles, and moxibustion, which is the burning of mugwort on different points, to stimulate the energy centers, stimulate the qi. So qi roughly translates to energy, also more so translates to the function. So we're trying to stimulate the function of the qi in the body, whether that's the function of your spleen qi, the function of your liver qi. We're looking at everything as a kind of like a garden, a whole, and we're trying to bring things back to balance. So there's 12 different meridians to the body. There are extra, but the main that we work with are 12. So there's a meridian that runs bilaterally, so on both sides of the body, associated with each organ. So through a quite lengthy interview process, that's kind of where we get the juice of what we're looking for. I call it my Nancy Drew hour. It's probably my favorite part of what we're doing, is trying to find the root of what's going on with somebody. And then from there, we dive into putting things back into balance. So we treat, most people think acupuncture is for body pain, which it is incredible for, because in Chinese medicine, pain is defined as stagnation. So the use of acupuncture needles is helping to stimulate the energy to move that stagnation on. But I mean, stagnation, cold, heat, any kind of imbalance in the body that's keeping it out of its regular environment is where these imbalances show up, a dis-ease. So it goes further than body pain. I've treated everything, like even in the past 2 months, vertigo, fertility, menopause, period pain, emotional issues, nerve pain. The list is extensive because the treatment is for everybody. I guess the best way to explain it.
So there's a consult component where that first part, and then would you be doing acupuncture right after the consultation, or is that just the, okay?
Yeah, generally when somebody comes to see me, there's an initial appointment that can be usually 90 minutes long, and a good 45 minutes of that is just talking, because I want to know absolutely everything. I want to know kind of when you fell off your bike when you were 12 and hurt your knee, and you know, maybe any big emotional upheavals in your life, what you do from work, because everything plays into how your body reacts and how your body functions and carries things throughout the years. And
I was just going to say, so a while back I came to you because I needed some more energy, and you helped me because I had a million things to do, and I felt like I just needed a boost of energy. Can you talk about what you did? Because that was fascinating. I felt like I had had 5 cups of coffee that day, but it lasted for like a week. And I got so much done.
Can we go over to your place right now? Because I need this.
Yeah. So I think for anybody who's feeling sluggish, like whatever you did, Kay, was fantastic. And can you just talk about that? Because I know I'm not the only one that could use a little boost now and then.
Now, if you're open to it, I can talk about you specifically, but the one of the most fantastic things I love about Chinese medicine, it's so specific to each person. The reason why you're tired may be different from the reason that somebody else is tired. And that's the beauty of it. It's like, it's so individual for everybody. In general, when we're feeling fatigued, it's a lack of qi, a lack of energy. And so depending on what's imbalanced in your body, we're just toning it up a little bit. So my 2 kind of favorites in Chinese medicine is the spleen. And when I say the spleen, yes, it's the physical organ, but more so it's the energy house that the organ houses. So the spleen is of the earth element. It has everything to do with the emotion of worry and thinking. It's the brain for your stomach and your digestion. It is your transformer, your transporter of the food that you digest. So really, you can kind of break it down to your spleen being your daily energy. So if your daily energy is feeling low, I would look to your earth element, your stomach and spleen energy, to boost it up. So that was one thing that we looked at with you. The other thing would be your kidney energy. So again, not physical organ necessarily, but the energy that it houses. So kidney is the emotion of fear. It is your daily aging. It is your bones and kind of like your life essence. So if, for example, your kidney energy, you're born with so much of it. It's what you're gifted from your parents when you're born. And as your kidney energy depletes over the years, your hair starts to gray, your hearing starts to go, your bones get a little weaker. So you have so much of that. And then you have your stomach energy, your spleen energy, kind of filling and emptying, filling and emptying. So you want to keep this happy by sleeping, eating, exercising, keeping your emotions level so that you're not depleting kind of your reserves. So that's what I would look at with people is, are they sleeping well, eating well, and taking care of themselves? So to know whether I need to work on helping them boost their daily energy, or do we need to go into the reserves and help to support it from there.
Nice, thank you. So both Tracy and I have talked about in the past that we both had breast cancer. So could we address cancer for a moment and just how acupuncture might be beneficial, I would assume, post-op, if you've had some surgery or after some treatments, or because it seems like who doesn't know someone who's struggling with some level of cancer, either have had it or has it or getting over it, and you know, just how acupuncture could be really great, because I used it a lot before and after my particular surgeries, and I know you were doing it as well, weren't you?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, not as consistently.
Okay. But I found even just right after, you know, just general aesthetic for anything, doesn't even have to be cancer, it was really great to just clean that out, but just how it can help to support and keep the immune system really high. But maybe you can address how acupuncture does that. That's all I know. I just know that it helped me, but I don't know.
Absolutely. And it's checking in with you and what in your body is imbalanced, that what kind of symptoms are you having with your treatment post, pre. So for example, going through chemo, feeling fatigued, nausea, that sort of thing. Acupuncture goes in and specifically focuses on the symptoms that you are having within that wheelhouse of the elementals within your body. Definitely pre-surgery is lovely because we can stimulate the body's blood flow and immune system again, through the balance of the elements within the body, and then post moving any stagnation, because surgery is like a huge like shock to the body and stagnation. So it helps with the healing process afterwards.
And I would imagine it might be a nice preventative as well. Like as far as, okay, say you have had cancer, it's gone now, you're moving on, it's years later, but to just continue to almost like a maintenance thing by making acupuncture part of your life to keep everything healthy and good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know everyone's cancer is their own cancer, really. It's their own journey, it's their own experience, and how their body interprets what's going to happen and how it recovers. But it's nice to know that that can be something in the toolbox that you can just be, you know, regularly looking in with to just keep everything functioning.
And acupuncture works best as preventative medicine. I love that in, you know, way back when, you would only ever pay your doctor when you were healthy, right? That if you are sick, your doctor's not doing a good enough job.
Oh boy, do we need more.
Right.
Really? Wow. That's kind of hard. Heard of that. That would definitely separate
that would change things.
The healers from the ones that are really not doing the job. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. So, like how long we're talking when doctors still did house calls, that kind of a thing, or?
No, I think we're talking like ancient China.
Oh, okay. Way back.
Yeah. Way back. Yeah.
Now, this is probably going to be the same answer as everything else, but I know a lot of people right now this summer that have Lyme disease, and I just wondered, is it the same kind of thing? I mean, obviously you're going to look to try to balance everything, but do you have like specific things that you look at with that particular situation?
Yeah, there's with specific things. So in Chinese medicine, it's sometimes tricky to use the language because it sounds very poetic and it can be way over somebody's head, but I like to explain. So we use the elements as pathogens in our bodies. So dampness, which we live in it every day, and that tends to fatigue us. Then there's heat, there's cold, there's fire, and there's wind. So these different elements. So actually Lyme disease in Chinese medicine is defined as a blood heat. So I would be using specific acupuncture protocols in order to clear that blood heat out of the body. And that blood heat is kind of what shows in the symptoms, short-term, long-term, and onward. Which again, sounds very poetic and maybe out of most people's wheelhouse when it comes to describing medicine. But there are specific protocols for specific things, but mostly it's individualized for everybody depending on what they're feeling.
Another thing, just another little personal bit, that you had helped me recently with my poison ivy, which I had a couple of really bad spots, and you did this cool thing called Surround the Dragon. Is that right?
Circle the Dragon.
What did you call it?
Surrounding the Dragon.
The Dragon. And it feels so much better now since you did that. Like the itch is more like just healing itch than the itch and burning of poison ivy. So what is that like? So you just literally put needles around it to pull the energy into that area. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So I just put, I mean, it varies on how many needles, but for you specifically, 5 needles around the affected area. And that stimulates the blood and the qi to go to that area so your body can naturally heal it. Along with that, I also stimulated your lung energy because the lung energy is responsible for the skin. So moving, it further along by stimulating more healing from there. Yeah.
That is cool. So like full disclosure, I have a cold sore today, or I've had one this week, which I know is stress induced.
Yeah.
And you know, even though you're living the good, clean life and you're getting lots of rest and exercise, you can still succumb to stress. And I know when I get a cold sore, clearly there's something I need to look at. And you know, how does acupuncture support our stress level? Like that's one of those. It's like that hidden beast. Like you think, oh no, I'm good, everything's fine, but you're actually stressed, and you don't even want to know. Like it's like the swan. I always say it's like the swan on the water. Like you're gliding along, and then underneath the water, you're paddling like mad, and no one can see what's. That's to me what stress represents. Like you don't even know yourself, and you can't even recognize it when it's happening.
Absolutely. I think both of you can probably attest that an acupuncture treatment, even though there's needles involved, is extremely relaxing. There is an energy set in that room that it's meant to be an hour devoted to yourself healing. So in both the relaxation, that also gives the body a break to naturally put itself back in alignment. I personally go a little above and beyond in my practice by, pardon me, introducing like smoke medicine, like burning sage, using crystals, those sorts of things as well to help energetically settle. But then there are certain organ systems that are more affected by stress. Whether that stress is coming, from fear, we'd look at the kidneys. From frustration, we'd look at the liver. It's approaching everything from that emotional standpoint, as opposed to some of the physical things that we've started before.
And I would assume that first 45 minutes of the first visit, you'd be digging down a little, asking the right questions to kind of even draw it out of someone who may not even realize that this is what we're stressing. Well, I mean, I think it's a given in this current climate of our lives right now and everything.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would imagine everyone in the healing and mental health profession is just overworked at the moment because there's so many people that are just really struggling.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can maybe use the acupuncture, have something in your arsenal that you can go to just self-healing and self-care is so important.
And that was one of the biggest things I found post our first lockdown, was such a surge of people looking for self-care. And I thought it was so beautiful. And then it kind of withered away again. And so I think it's a good reminder that we need to be taking care of self always, because it's that preventative step that you take that stops you from getting sick in the future. Right.
It's so easy to ignore when everything's going fine.
Right. And that's the fun thing that I have, observing people getting better and better, that I have to remind them of the symptoms that they were having, because you don't think of the things, the pain you used to have. You only think about it when you have it in the moment.
Sure. Yeah.
So we need to start having those reminders to come, to take care of ourselves before we get sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine that's what yoga helps with too, giving a calm center and moving.
Right. Yeah. And thank you for bringing up the yoga, because that's the nice thing about it all. It's really a system. It's the acupuncture, but that these things can actually, they rotate around each other in a beautiful dance, right? If you're coming to yoga every week or you're doing acupuncture weekly, just marrying some really things that help to really cement and support the other modalities that you might have in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you don't have to even know, right? You don't have to know. Just by committing to these practices, you don't even have to know how it's helping you. You just can feel that it is, right? Like, I think sometimes we get caught up in the details of like, what is this doing? Or, do I need to know? I need to know. Well, maybe you don't need to know. Maybe you can just receive it. Yeah, just trust, right? Sometimes it's bigger. It's definitely bigger than us. Not sometimes it's bigger than us. It's, and so just, I think that's definitely like, all the parts, what we connect to in yoga, like balancing all the parts of us. It's the same, I think, in acupuncture. It sounds like we look to the whole. We want to bring everything back, right? Yeah.
So we have all these great healers in this area. I mean, look no further. You're one of many, but it's amazing that you're close by and accessible and amazing at what you do. So.
Is there anything in particular that you would like people to know about what you do, or what you have to offer, or just something that maybe stands out about what you do specifically that people might not necessarily think of?
When most people think of acupuncture, they think of pain management or relief from pain. And I like to explain that, in terms of Western medicine, which has its incredible feats that it can do in terms of surgeries and all of that, Western medicine is generally best for acute trauma, where when you come to Chinese medicine, acupuncture and everything that involves, it's more for long-term management of anything chronic, but also preventative. Just like you eat healthy vegetables or go to yoga or that sort of thing, adding acupuncture in to keep your system in balance keeps you from ever having to go into that chronic area, or hopefully go like steer away from any trauma and those sorts of things. So I think anything you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I also like, you'd already mentioned that you bring in the crystals and the, you know, that's not something you usually get with other acupuncturists that I've been to. So that's such a lovely spiritual dimension that
thank you.
complements it probably quite nicely. I would love something like that.
Yeah. And that's what I love about acupuncturists. There are so many wonderful acupuncturists just in our area, and everybody's so different. And there's no competition. I feel everybody's supportive of what each does, and you find the practitioner that fits for you. Some people may not, you know, be into the crystals and the everything else, but there's other fantastic, very knowledgeable and wonderful practitioners that they can see.
And we could echo the same sentiment about the other yoga teachers in our community too.
Right.
There's some really great teachers out there, and I would encourage people to sample, you know, find what feels right for you and what is a good fit. And sometimes you can evolve into needing a different situation, a different teacher, depending on what you're going through.
Right, different times in your life.
Yeah. So it's great.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And the wonderful thing, I guess, I just encourage people to ask, because a lot of the times people come see me for a certain thing, and through our, you know, our discussion in the beginning, they're like, oh, you can treat that too? Oh, you can treat that too? It's like, yes. Anything that you would go see your Western doctor for, acupuncture was kind of treating before. You know, it's been around 5,000 years. So there's been a lot of, you know, aches and pains and imbalances in lives that acupuncture has been treating for a long time.
I'm sold. I think I need to make it soon. Now I know what I'm going to ask for my birthday. That's on my list.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us the time to chat a little. And
thanks for asking.
Hopefully this is the first of a series that we'd like to do with a lot of other cool people out there that are offering healing. But
I have a few recommendations if you'd like.
We're all ears.
Out there.
So thank you, and thanks everyone who's listening.
Yeah, so Kay, this is Kay Ennis, and she's at Keystone Health in Blockhouse. We will, if it's okay with you, Kay, we will post your contact information.
A link with our,
so that people can find you easily. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you again soon.
Thank you.